Good afternoon, this is Dustin with Orlando Painters, LLC, www.orlandopainters.net. We're here at the T.G. Lee Dairy Plant in Orange City, Florida, Deland, Florida, kind of right on the borderline of Orange City and Deland. We're the painting contractor here for the T.G. Lee Dairy Plant here and the one in Orlando as well. I made a video yesterday. We were pressure washing all this blue here for T.G. Lee. They have a little bit of budget money left before the end of the fiscal year and they want to spend it real quick, so just want to tackle some exterior projects. This blue here on this building, it hasn't been painted in a long time, and there's just layer and layer and layer of a bunch of different coatings, and it's blistering and bubbling all over the place, so they want to get that cleaned up now. So what we did is I'll show you more, we pressure washed all this and the paint just came right off down to the raw block. So what we're doing here this morning, all the guys here, that's a primer, it's a masonry primer. All that down there, all that blue came off, it's just raw block. So I want to get a masonry, concrete primer on here first, full body primer, before we get into the blue. And we're using a high performance acrylic on here over the top versus your standard house paint. Now this area here, it's staying a little bit wet. There's behind this wall is actually, their cooler area for their milk, and this wall keeps leaking water out of it. It's hot outside, it's cold inside. They meet, and something's got to give. So it's just giving a little bit of a condensation on the walls. So we're gonna have to address that issue before we apply any finish coating to that. But we have more here, and like I said, the whole building obviously needs painted, all the white. There's just a lot of mildew. Paint's really old, layers and layers of the wrong coatings and stuff. It is what it is. But what we're doing is, everywhere we pressure washed yesterday, wherever the paint came off, the paint, just layers and layers of paint would come off, and anywhere you see a primer spot is where it went all the way down to raw block. And if raw block is there, then you need to not a sealer. Sealers are made for adhesion, for your top coat to adhere to the old existing surface, the old existing coating. So a sealer is not what you want to use if you have raw block. Raw block, you want to use, a concrete primer. Almost like a block filler, kind of like. And then after that dries, you come along and you put your top coat. Now in this case, this is an industrial commercial environment. I'm going to use a high performance acrylic versus your top of the line house paint. We're just dealing with a lot more elements than if you were working at a residence. So all the way down here, wherever you see this, went down to the raw block. So the guys pressure washed all this yesterday, cleaned up all the paint flakes everywhere. And this is obviously a beverage plant, T.G. Lee or milk, so you can't have any of these paint flakes, rust. You can't have any of that anywhere. little bit of stuff over here. We gotta sweep it up still. They did a little more scraping today. Fixing cracks. Any voids in the block there are filled. All this around here. So all we're going to do, we're going to handle all this blue for them. There's just some big time problem areas in this blue they wanted to get addressed before the end of the year. Pressure wash it all, concrete primer, and then a high performance acrylic. All the cracks are being filled. That's part of some of the problems as well. You know, if a crack is a 1/16 of an inch or less, we'll use like an elastomeric patching compound. Wipe it clean so just the void itself is filled. If it's over a 1/16 of an inch, you know, an 1/8 of an inch, then we actually use like a cementitious, you know, like a mortar mix. Elastomeric patching compounds aren't really designed to fill voids an 1/8 of an inch or higher, you know, or wider. That's not what it's designed for. This big misconception. Sure, it'll fill it, but how long that lasts, it's probably not going to be that good. You got to use the right patching compound or agent for its particular use. And that's why all these commercial and industrial companies call me. I don't take shortcuts. We do it the right way every single time. Oh, look at that spider. And we're also doing this retention wall here. All the way down. You can see all the patch marks on that. Now before we apply the paint to this, we will apply a sealer to this. We'll probably use like a Sherwin-Williams Lox-On conditioner. And that's just going to help bond our new finish coating to this old existing paint that's already here. And then it's never going to chip, flake, or peel when we're done. Where's the rest of the guys? Where's the rest of the guys?
They're coming.
Okay.
Boxing up all the material.
Okay. So I guess the guys are getting all the paint together at the trailer, and we're gonna start on this end, I believe, and work ourselves around that way. So we'll leave this alone. We'll shoot a sealer on this here in a little while before we leave today. It's about 12:30 already, so get some of this painted and get this wall sealed, and then we'll working all weekend. I'll probably have 12 or 13 guys working this weekend at a big commercial interior office project. And then we'll come back here Monday morning and knock this out and get on to our next projects. Thanks for watching this video. I definitely appreciate it. This is Dustin with Orlando Painters, www.orlandopainters.net. Again, I'd like to thank TG Lee for all the business they give us. Thank you and have a wonderful weekend. Be safe.